Hey everybody, welcome back to Cruise Control. It is Friday, September 29th, 2023. Welcome to Cruise Control, the home of entertainment news. I am your host, as always, Brian Kruse. Welcome back, everybody. Happy to have you here in our fantastic Drunk Friday edition of Cruise Control. And of course, it's going to be a great night. We're going to have some little cocktails. We're going to talk about some movies and some entertainment news, and we're going to have a fun time along the way. And because Sabrina had a special occasion tonight, so she's out for a work occasion, so she can't be here tonight to be my lovely co-host as always. But I do have another lovely co-host here tonight, lovely and intellectual, Mr. Mike Casey. Mike, welcome back to Cruise Control. How you doing tonight?
That's so sweet of you to say, Brian. I don't feel so lovely down here in the snake pit where I record. Hi. Thanks for having me on, Brian. Yeah, so Brian said I get to do what? Producing, co-hosting credit for today. So
Yeah.
he's given me powers like this. You don't know how badly I wish I had the Price is Right version of that.
That'd be great.
Kind of song, yeah. I'll try to restrain myself because it could really get out of control.
Don't hold back. Pikachu enthusiast.
Anyway, I'm happy. I'm on the show here with a couple of people I haven't been on before. So, hi guys, thanks for having me on, and I'm excited to talk to you. Oh, and
the very first person.
I remember what I wanted to say is because I'll be focusing mostly on the chat because we got 5 people here tonight. So you guys go off, and I will make sure that you guys get up. Hey, GR.
Hey, GR. Welcome back. But our very first person back here, Mike, I wanted to talk about is my buddy and yours. He's a fucking awesome actor. He's producing his own series called Evil Spencer. Welcome back to Cruise Control, Spencer O'Neill. Spencer, welcome back to Cruise Control. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me on, Brian. It's always awesome being here.
Yeah.
I'm excited. to talk about some of this stuff. So thank you.
Hey, Racer X. Yeah, you been good?
Yeah, real good. I mean, I've been seeing you like every week now, and we've been having fun. I appreciate it.
It's true.
Brian. We've been having a lot of fun.
We're having a great time. Evil Spencer will be a great show when he comes out. Working some post stuff, still shooting a lot of stuff, everybody. You're going to see it soon. So can't wait for the world to see it. But this guy right here kicking ass on that show. For sure. Can't wait to show everybody. But yeah, Spencer, welcome back. As always, happy Friday. What are you drinking over there?
Oh, a concoction of random things. I've got this. My buddy gave us some stuff he got from Japan. So I don't know if he actually got this in Japan or he just got some Japanese stuff, and it looks like it was made in America. And then I mixed it with caffeine, which you shouldn't do, and
making dreams come true.
It's a good.
You're not selling Four Loko anymore.
Bacardi glass, so it's all kinds of different things, really. So.
It's a great concoction. Well, thank you for being here. Drink up. We're going to drink a lot tonight. So also joining us back. It's been a while, but my buddy and yours, actor and extraordinaire, Mr. Keoki, Kekaula. Keoki, welcome back to Cruise Control, man. How you been?
Woo! Oh, man. I've been great. So great to be back. Thanks for having me. Good to see some new faces I haven't got a chance to meet before. So great to be here. Thanks for having me back, sir. And thanks for having me on.
Yeah, happy Friday. Happy Friday, Keoki. I'm really happy to have you here. And also joining us back, though, she hasn't been here in a while either, but the lovely actor, writer, creator, artist, you guys see her art, and co-host of Cinema Demore, Lexi Covill. Lexi, welcome back to Cruise Control. How you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm good.
How's life been?
Well, you had an emergency and you needed me here because there's not enough estrogen on the show, so
definitely not.
The role, Hi, JR. I haven't seen you in the chat in like forever, so it's about time you came back.
Yeah, like what's he been doing?
Right? What are you doing? You're retired.
What are you doing,
right?
JR?
Come on. At least you came back when I'm here, right? And that's what's important. But glad to be back. We have important remake news to talk about, and that's really why I'm here.
Yeah, there's so many reboots, remakes, redos. I'm calling it retaliation from the past because there's a lot of projects coming. Of course, the writer's strike is now ended officially. I mean, they're going to have their vote for all the membership very soon, but they're still getting back to work. So now people are talking about writing stuff and projects are coming out, what's happening next and stuff that was on hold. They couldn't talk about, they're talking about now. So that's a big part of tonight's show. But yeah, I'm really excited about all this. I'm happy you had this whole panel. Again, there's 5 of us tonight. Doesn't happen that often. And it's really cool to have a big group like this on Kruse Control. So everybody, you got a special treat tonight. But you also have a lot of breaking news. Come on. All right. The very first thing that I want to dive right into is, well, I want to talk about Netflix for a second, because Netflix has officially ended their DVD sales. So, I mean, the shipping DVD. So if you remember, like one of our good friends of the show, Jacob Rowland, and you were getting these DVDs in the mail, unfortunately, they are not coming anymore because Netflix has ended the policy officially. Now, if you still have these DVDs, you can hold on to them and just keep them forever, because they're saying right now you don't have to send them back. If you want to send them back, you can still have to send them back until October 27th. But after that, you must keep your Netflix DVDs forever because they are done. And it's been going on for a long time. It started off being like, the whole Blockbuster phase back then. People were still renting DVDs over an online thing, and then it branched out to streaming because everyone went to the World Wide Web for their movies. And then eventually, time changes and people aren't getting DVDs anymore. So unfortunately, I have to say, see ya to Netflix DVDs. But I will say hello to a SAG-AFTRA and AMPTP meeting, because it's officially going down on Monday, everybody. Now, this is the big thing, because we talked about it last week about it might happen. Deadline came out and said, oh yeah, we have the inside information. It's going to happen next week. And then SAG said, hearsay. I'd say hearsay unless we actually say something about it. So they're like, it's not happening yet. And then after they said hearsay, like the next day, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to meet on Monday. So yeah, they're going to meet. And it's so funny. And they came out, they said SAG-AFTRA and the AMPTP was in negotiations for a new TV theatrical contract on Monday. And it's been 78 days for this strike, everybody. So it's been a long time. And, if the writers got their deal, we should get our deal. But a lot of shows have gone away because of this. Just like, I'm going to shut him out. I hope he's in the chat someplace. Our friend Jacob Rowland, I know he loves this show, but Heels is canceled, everybody. Yeah, Heels is canceled. I know. It's like one of the big shows. They did 2 seasons on Starz, and then Starz is like, hey, we're letting it go. And the producer actually came out. Oh, right. Oh, goodbye, Heels. But Mike O'Malley, the executive producer, said, I really believe that Starz executives, when they say that they want to see a future for this, and because they invested a lot into the show, I really do want to thank everyone for being a part of it. Yeah, well, this is a show, if you haven't heard of it, Lexi, this is a show about, like I said, it's an indie wrestling organization, and Stephen Amell is there, and he's like working his way up. He's running the business from his dad. Right? The bad guys in wrestling. And now they're saying it ended on a cliffhanger. You're not really sure what's going to happen, but now they're hoping to go to a 3rd season someplace else. So they're pitching it actively right now. Heels, a show about shoes. It should be a show about shoes.
I'd way rather watch
it's funny. When you actually search for Heels, it could go with the cock. It could go with the cock.
It could the cock. Yeah.
Watch the show.
Got a lot of WWE action there, so it just makes sense for them to promote it, get it going, that full into AEW and WWE. So it would just make perfect sense for them to get it there.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point, Keoki, that they have all the wrestling on there. So why don't they pick this up? It's good promotion for both businesses. Why not bring it over there? Again, this is done pretty well for Starz, but this is what happens during the strikes. Like, shows get cut. And there was that whole controversy with Stephen Amell where he was like against the strike, and then he had to go back and forth. Like, I'm going to pick a line. I'm going to be okay.
Right.
And now his show is gone. It makes you wonder.
But you know what? I did read it. I read through all of the comments first, obviously, because they're ripping him apart. I commented, and then I read what he said, and then he was just like, you know what? He was just saying it on both sides. Like, man, I'm with my brothers and sisters, but he's like, I really wish the strike wouldn't end. That's what he was going for, but now the show has ended. But hopefully, it's get picked up.
Yeah, hopefully. We always hope that when shows go away and they're still actively pursuing like a network, we always hope that those people get those jobs. But you just never know with something like this. Spencer, you think the show's going to come back, or you think Heels is left in the past?
I don't know. I think it was a pretty decent show on Starz, at least. Starz has some good shows, I think, as well. But I don't know. I didn't watch it, so it's not a lot for me to weigh in on it, I think. But market's a little small. I don't know. Definitely like a cult, I feel like. wrestling, but no, I don't personally.
I know.
A lot of shows,
like wrestling.
And there's just so much stuff that's getting cut, like Minx wasn't going to come back, and
oh no, Minx not coming back. Oh,
well, season 2 ended up coming out, but
they found out.
It went from HBO.
I think they found a network for the 3rd season. I think they found a network.
Hey, look at that.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah. I heard something about that. The producer was talking about it. No, that's what's happening constantly. Like, they hope they can find another network, but a lot of times it doesn't work out unless you're Manifest. I have no idea how Manifest got to Netflix. Yeah. You know what I mean? But they got their deal. It was amazing. For them.
Was only because they had 3 seasons and then they were able to just convolute that, hold on to it. The same thing that was like Tim Kring and Heroes. They just kind of held on. Got really popular during the pandemic. The pandemic saved it. And I watched it. And I actually enjoyed the 4th season, even though it was really crazy and out of control.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was okay. I watched it too. It's like, at least we got an ending that we wanted, as fans, people watch the whole show. And sometimes you just get caught into a show. You want to see how it ends. But I don't know about heels. I really don't know. What was that, Spencer?
Yeah. No, there's just so many shows. You know what I mean? It's like music nowadays. You're like, hey, what do you listen to? What do you watch? And it's like, I don't know what that is.
Music, right?
It's all
I know.
spread out, fractured.
Yeah.
Speaking of music, everybody, Aerosmith is going to be delayed until next year. So if you're a fan of Aerosmith for the Peace Out tour, they're going to be not coming back right now. So they delayed for a month because of Steven Tyler. He had some vocal cord damage. His vocal cords were actually bleeding, and his doctor said he need to take a month off. Yeah, really bad. And now it came out. Now it's going to be longer than a month. If you have dates anytime in 2023, it's all being pushed to 2024. This came out today. They're not really sure when, but he needs time to actually heal his voice. And so they canceled everything. They said he actually has a fractured larynx. So it's like, the whole thing is just like, who knows how long that's going to take to heal. The doctor actually said that, the band's doctor has confirmed that in addition to damage to his vocal cords, he has fractured his larynx, which requires ongoing care. He is receiving the best medical treatment available to ensure his recovery is swift. But given the nature of the fracture, he is being told patience is essential. So yeah, so if you're a fan of Aerosmith and you've been excited about this tour, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
Fucking Black Crowes, I couldn't imagine a worse concert to go to. Just be like a 65-year-old fucking like ex-groupie.
Shots fired.
Like seriously, like,
they're still hot, Lexi.
Like, it was like pot, but not like a peeling pot. It'd be like that pot that their moms grew, like, but isn't like a good pot, and like. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the worst
old
show
people pop.
ever.
Well, you got to be there for the don't want to close my ass. And then
for sure,
right? It's like it's just a bunch of like old men dressed like it's still 1967, even though like the Black Crowes came out in like the late 90s, like early 90s. It's like trying to be. So it's like Jet. You want to go see Jet and fucking Buck Cherry? It's like the same audience. Ooh, I can't wait.
New Balance.
It's a bunch of like.
Watch it on the
New Balance. I'm just saying. Crazy bitch is coming on. I can't wait. I'm gonna go see Black Crowes and Aerosmith. Woo!
So do you think that he'll make a comeback though, Lexi? Will he make a comeback? Will they be able to finish this tour? Or do you think that his vocal cords are gonna Glenn Mazzone said in the chat, Glenn Mazzone said in the chat, he's getting old, right? So it's hard for his vocal cords to heal.
Disney was pretty badass. I like their roller coaster.
The roller coaster.
But if they took that roller coaster and they reformed it into like a Star Wars roller coaster, I wouldn't even notice that Aerosmith was gone. It would still be a badass roller coaster.
It's a great roller coaster. It is a great roller coaster. The rock and roller coaster.
It's the best thing Aerosmith ever did. The rock and roller coaster.
Hot takes. That's spicy.
Hot takes out there, everybody. Hot takes. Mike, what do you think? Do you think Aerosmith has a chance to come back here? You think Steven Tyler will heal? Or do you think this might actually be the end of their potential last tour ever?
Brian, you and I do some voice acting, like, after 8 hours in the booth or whatever, like you string together a couple of long recording days. It's hard to keep pushing. I have no idea how these old ass grandpas get on stage every night and keep pushing it. No wonder you fracture your larynx. Like, although also it seems weird. How do you fracture your larynx? It doesn't seem like maybe just too much accumulating, vibrations. It's like a bridge or a dam. Like it has to give way eventually. Will he come back? I don't know. Do people heal from broken larynxes?
That's a good question. I've never heard of this before either.
He's not pushing his vocal cords in the right way. Like there's a way to achieve like hot. Like if you look at like not to like go into it, but like, opera singers and stuff like that, there is a way to hit those notes after you're trained for a while, where you can do it without like actually having to like push. You know what I'm saying? So what a lot of these like musicians who are untrained, like who don't go through classical training, will do, they'll just push for years and years and years until they blow it out. You know what I mean? And that's like a typical thing with a lot of musicians. Well, they didn't have proper like vocal training and they just did the same thing for years and then they just blew it. That's a very common with like metal people. Like there's a way to metal growl without damaging your vocals. And then there's a way to do it without like
use lip syncing.
I know it sounds strange, but like there is a way to like achieve these things without hurting yourself. And then there's a way to do it where like you're just destroying yourself slowly. So yeah, he's probably one of those people who just did it to himself for years and damaged himself.
Well, think about how many years he's been singing too, and GR saying 65 is not old. It's not old, but it's like
it's not
wear and tear.
No. And I can't see him listening and paying attention to anybody trying to tell him. Like it's like Steven Tyler, you're not doing this right. You need to like stop and try this. I ain't gonna listen to you. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm Steven Tyler. I'm gonna do what I want.
Impression drink. Spencer, what do you, before we get in there, everyone, it is Drunk Friday. I know we had a comment back there. So, we'll be drinking along the whole time. And if you tell us to drink, maybe we'll drink for you too. So it's one of those days. Spencer, what do you think? Do you think that he'll come back from this?
Yes. He's a god. He's from a different time. They just last forever. They survive off of just hard drugs and a half a meal a day. You know what I mean? They're a different breed. It's a different.
So much cocaine.
Thing. Oh God, that's
so much cocaine.
That's casual stuff, right. But no, I think about M. Shadows, the lead singer of Avenged Sevenfold. He was on stage and his vocal cords exploded and blood came out of his mouth and everything.
That was.
It's hardcore, man. It's like they're dedicated to the craft and they don't get There's all kinds of musicians that are like, I've got laryngitis. I'm going to have to cancel this show for tonight. Sorry, guys. We're going to refund you your tickets, And he's like, I will blow my throat out. Let's go. And it's like, respect.
Well, that's why he can't do anything that he
different
did
type artist.
With original albums anymore because he completely destroyed his vocals. And now he can't sing anything from like all of like the first two albums from Avenged because he completely destroyed his like throat from that.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's tough. I mean, you get older, it's harder and harder, just what it is. It's an instrument like anything else. Keoki, do you think he'll come back? What do you think, Keoki? Or do you think that, he's done? This will never happen.
I would almost accumulate that to the 10,000 hours. Once he's a professional, he's been doing it for so long. And that time has crossed. I kind of compared to like Kobe Bryant or something along those lines of someone who's in sports. You continually do that until your body just gives out. So maybe he can. You know what? Maybe he can. He's old enough. He's rested enough. That picture makes it look like he might not be able to, but
is he like a dragon? What the hell is going on there?
He's a dragon.
He does look like he is auditioning for House of Dragon season 2 and 3. But he, you know what? I've seen Steven Tyler over the past 30 years, played music videos, so maybe he can do it. I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
Mick Jagger doesn't bitch out like this, just saying.
Right? And I love it. I love that picture because I'm like, that's Steven Tyler, what it is now.
Yeah.
He's going to go for it. He's hardcore.
He's hardcore. He will not stop. That's why he's still going. The whole band's still going. Red Racer X, eventually, people have to retire and they have to step away. That's just what it is, unfortunately. But this tour is going to make millions of dollars for them. It's their retirement tour, so I hope it comes back. But something that's not making $1 million is America's Got Talent. So if you think you're going to win $1 million, if you actually win America's Got Talent, you're not winning $1 million. Because it came out actually recently that the whole breakdown is insane to me. I never knew this. I've watched the show and I think it's kind of fun a lot of times, but you're like, you're $1 million and get a show in Vegas. It'll be fantastic. Well, if you want to get $1 million, you can collect it over 40 years and get $25,000 a year. Plus, that's before taxes, plus taxes. So then they are taxed anyways. So that's how much money you actually get over 40 years. Or you can get cash payout and that'll be $300,000, but then they're going to take taxes out. So it's like, not $1 million. I'm going to call it shenanigans on America's Got Talent and Simon Cowell. Like, that's not $1 million. Now, of course, you get the deal where you go on a weekend excursion to Vegas and you can actually have your whole, your triumph on stage and do your performance, which is amazing. And sometimes that can snowball into bigger and better things. But the money thing is kind of like, it's kind of shady if you ask me. I was very surprised to hear this. And actually the guy who actually won, Adrian Sequoia, actually was his old thing this past season 18. He just won this week. He actually won with his dog. And like, it was his dog Hurricane was actually pretty awesome. They had a whole like presentation where he was like behind stage and the dog was acting like the director. The dog's pushing him to his mark, going behind the camera, pretending to shoot, like hitting the clapper, like fixing his hair, doing all this stuff. It was actually a lot of fun. It was very impressive to see a dog do that. But this guy, honestly, should win $1 million. Anybody that does this show should win $1 million, but you're only getting, after take home, you're probably getting $200,000 if you take the cash buyout, if that, and like, that's great. That's great, but it's not $1 million. It's not $1 million. It really isn't. Mike, are you surprised on these facts? Do you think that this makes sense to you, or do you think that people are getting the fucking short end of the stick?
It's bullshit. I have heard before that it's actually better in those lottery kind of situations or when you win something to take the first payout, because 40 years from now, Snickers bar is going to cost $80. Like it's just, I don't know. They're just trying to, I guess we were talking earlier about the fracturing of media. Like, I guess they have lower and lower budgets because they're getting less and less of the, less and less eyeballs on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, Mike. Less and less eyeballs, and it's tough. It's really freaking tough because it's like, how can they actually, how can they give out $1 million every year? Simon Cowell has freaking money, but how can they do that, What do you think about this, Spencer? Do you think this is shenanigans, or do you think this is kind of par for the course for the world that they're actually involved in?
Super par for the course, yeah. I don't know. The more and more you learn about a lot of this stuff, I feel like it's just kind of routine. But I don't know. I also think of like David Caruso and like CSI Miami. I wonder if they went to Simon Cowell and they were like, "Hey, listen, can we just like not pay you like $5 million a year? Can we just like take like one off that?" And he's like, "Fuck that."
Like, no way.
No, we're not paying him $1 million anymore. Okay, but you're going to lose me if you pay me any less. So I don't know. There's always a different, 1,000 different reasons, but yeah, it's super sad. Yeah, but it happens a lot, I feel like. So
happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, Glamazona, yes, 18 seasons. They're doing 18 seasons, just ended. So, they went through COVID and everything. They found ways to keep going, but they're running out of money. That's what Razor X says. They might be running out of money, but I think Simon Cowell is just putting more money in his pocket, probably. He gets to cut everybody's contract moving forward if they make money anyway. So he's making money off them all the time. So I don't know. I thought it was very interesting. I thought it was very fascinating that they're actually doing this. But yeah, that's just a business. It really is, right, Keoki? This doesn't surprise you, does it?
Not at all. Nope. It's right into what I thought. We already know what it's like for the pay down. He's the producer. He's getting the show. Obviously, they're still going by Nielsen ratings reviews, but it's like, dude, if you're not getting that TV money, they're going to try to trickle down and cut that money out that's going to the person that actually wins. It's just like, American Idol. They're like, oh, yeah, you're going to get all this money and you're going to get this promotion. You're like, okay, the money actually ends up being lower for everybody that wasn't on season 1 or 2 or maybe 3. So this is falling right into those fans. It's reality TV going to that little bucket of money that they think they have, even though they're making, tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah. And that was a picture of the guy who just won, like Adrian, which it's great. Yeah, it's great. The dog was awesome. Dog, it was the last time they had a dog when it was like 2007. So a dog act. So it's pretty big. Simon loves himself some cows and some dogs and some animals and some bees and some trees and all that shit. So right, Mike? Mike, do you think that this makes sense to you? What do you think?
What about dogs being millionaires? Is that what you're asking?
Dog millionaire. Yep, the dog millionaires. It makes sense that dogs become millionaires just like anybody else.
I did. I was curious as to what that show actually was, so I watched that today. And that dog is doing a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
He's earning that.
Isn't he?
His money, yeah.
He's jumping around. He's like flipping like lights, and he's like directing, and he's like throwing him flowers and fixing his hair. He's doing a lot of stuff.
Man.
It's really impressive. It's very impressive. Lexi, you think this is impressive? Do you think that this is just the world we live in, that these talk shows just lie, or these game shows lie? They say they're giving you like $1 million, but it's just kind of at the end of the day, you get all the people that actually are involved are not making the money you think they would make.
Everything's a lie. And I mean,
Well
you go
said.
in a store, it says it's $1.99. It's not $1.99. Why don't we put the price with the tax added onto it? And then it's the exact price that it would be. And then I can go, oh, it's this much, and I walk in.
Exactly.
No.
Not going to get $1 million. You're going to get $1 million before taxes and whatever. If you win a car on any game show, you have to pay the taxes on the car. If you win any money in the lottery, you have to pay the taxes. What world do you people live in that you didn't know that when you won on a game show, like as an adult, like I'm not going to talk about like younger people, but like anybody who's like in our age group or whatever, like what fucking world do you live in that you don't know this stuff? Because like genuinely, like we have not existed in a world where anybody has ever put the exact prices out there with what they are on anything, and the amount of money that you win is never an exact amount. You know very well that you have to pay the taxes on every single fucking thing that you win. Everything. And everything that you do, whether you go online and you do one of those, paying money to win a car things that are like on there right now, you will have to pay the taxes on that too. That's why those giveaways now, those ones they're doing now, they give you $40,000 with the car, because it actually is going to help you cover the taxes on the car. Like, there's things that people have paid attention to now that they're like, win a car with $20,000. It's like, yeah, because $20,000 is going to cover all the fucking taxes and all the shit.
Exactly.
That when you're done with, basically the car is going to be free and all that money that you got ain't going to be there. So like, it's one of those things where the very idea that people are sitting here and going, I can't believe that people who watch America's Got Talent are not getting $1 million. What fucking world? Like, seriously.
I know, especially these days.
Like, I mean, the fact that it's even a news story and that we're having a discussion about, not that I'm like judging the discussion, like it's a news story and we're having a discussion about the fucking news story.
It's problematic that we expect to be lied to, isn't it?
Like, yeah, it's like, it's astonishing to me in that, but like, it's just the world that we live in. And, like, you have to know that like, it's not legitimate. And also like, Taylor Swift's cat is worth more than all of us put together.
It's
like,
true.
You're looking at that dog and whatever. And I got to say, everything Swifty on America's Got Talent is fucking stupid. They don't have talent. We don't have talent. They're party tricks. I'm like, you want to watch some party tricks? I'm like, it's fucking Vegas. And then all of these people, they're going to get a fucking show in Vegas for like 6 months and the show's going to be closed down. Because everything in Vegas closed in 6 months. Whether it's a fucking restaurant or a major fucking business. I lived there for 10 years. I watched that fucking thing change and morph every 5 seconds. Nothing is static. Everything is fucking constantly changing. Like, I don't know what you expect to gain from going on this show other than 5 minutes of fame. And like, trust me, that's all you're going to gain from it is
$1 million
fame.
And $1 million
over the course of 40 years, which equates
40 years.
to $10 an hour. So I'm like, I can actually fucking go get a degree and fucking get a job, make
sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Gr
10 years, yeah.
That, like,
you still get the color.
Good point.
And like, really, like, I mean, the most successful things that we've seen from these shows, like Jabberwocky's income from this, they came from that fucking America's Best Dance Crew, and that was a way better show. That was all day, every day. I way rather watch America's Best Dance Crew than anything on America's Got Talent.
No,
and like, I'm not gonna like this trash America's Best Got Talent because I'm like, whatever, people like that shit. They want to watch some, showcase stuff. It's no different.
Everybody wants to win $1 million.
It's one of those kind of things. But like, Howie Mandel, can you please go do some real fucking work? You're one of my favorite comedians. Like,
I know,
Bobby's World was the shit.
Bobby's World was
great. Comedy. His great comedy was the funniest fucking shit in the world. You're one of the funniest human beings on the planet. You are funny as shit. Stop doing this show. There's a
I know.
fucking talent.
He's not going to stop. It's an easy paycheck for him. It's so easy for him.
I'm like, come on.
It's easy money, and he doesn't have to shake hands because he doesn't like touching people. So
no, I love it.
It's true.
I know. He's a cool dude.
He judges people.
I love him.
Telling Howie Mandel to stop doing this show, though, is just as easy to tell Miley Cyrus's stalker to stop stalking her because he's not going to do it, everybody. That's all I can say, because Miley Cyrus's stalker is still around since 2018. And this is something that I heard. I was like, wait, whoa, hold on. Put the brakes for 1 second. She's had a stalker since 2018. Since 2018, 52-year-old alleged stalker. Well, he's alleged, but he's in jail right now, so whatever. But he's been in jail for a while now. And he actually sent 2018, he started sending her, first of all, letters. And then he sent her requesting money. And then he actually said, hey, I want explicit, sexually explicit requests he started giving to her too. And even when he was in jail, he was sending her stuff, and she was trying to ignore it. And now he got out of jail in 2022, and so now she's filing a restraining order apparently because it must have started back up again. And Miley Cyrus is one of those actors. She's an actor, but she's also mainly a musician. And when you're in this business, that's what happens. People fucking get crazy about you sometimes, and they stalk you. Unfortunately, that's part of the job, and that shouldn't be part of the job, but it's part of the right. Ding dong, who's here? The stalker is here, Mike. That's who's here. You can't get rid of them because you know what? I gotta tell you, 52-year-old Alexander Cardalian is coming in, and he's like, Miley, please have sex with me. And she's like, no, thank you. And you know what? She should file a restraining order against this guy. If he was in jail and mailing her letters and mailing her before that, and he went to jail, like she needs to shut this shit down somehow. But is it really going to stop this person? Who really knows? The fact that he was actually here, I know that was a hilarious fact too. He was using her personal address to file for his health insurance. That's another fun fact on this.
Wow. How did he pull that off? I want to know how that's terrifying.
I don't know. That's like I heard this story. And it was trending on YouTube today. So I was like, we gotta talk about this because Lexi's like, we gotta talk about trending YouTube topics. I'm like, you know what, Lexi, you're right. And I saw this trending and I was like, this is fucking nuts. It's just
that's super
a rabbit hole nobody wants to go down. But 52 years old, this guy's.
I don't have my insurance card. That Miley Cyrus has it. You're gonna have to go scan it from her.
Go to her first.
I know.
This reminds me of
Hannah Montana has it. If you
Hannah's got it. She's gonna
sound like a crazy person.
She said she's gonna pay for it, and she's like, I know him, but I don't know. Oh, so you are gonna pay for it? That's what he's waiting for. He's waiting for the involvement and the medical fucking toss-off. Like,
and then the Sweet Life from Cody.
Happens.
They've got my other information. So like, I mean,
Sweet Life. Sweet Life goes to twins.
I mean, and then the wizards from Waverly Place took my fucking driver's license. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
Those fucking witches, you know?
Those fucking witches.
Also,
Selena Gomez has my fucking money right now. On its way. Like,
don't get me started on Jake Paul. I mean, we're just fucked on that.
Jake Paul. How about Zendaya? Like years ago, I don't think it actually got out there too far, but Zendaya years ago had her stalker living in her attic, like living in her fucking attic, and they were hearing noises and shit like that. And I mean, this might not even be out there. I don't know if it's out there because I remember like I worked with like her assistant before, and he was talking about how like this guy's fucking living in her attic, and they eventually found him and called the cops, but he was sending like weird messages. And they find shit in the house and shit was moved around. And they hear noises in the attic that there's a fucking ghost there, but it was a fucking stalker in the attic. So you used to have no idea. People go to extreme measures to get close to somebody. It's nuts. Absolutely. Mike, do you think this guy will actually stop, or do you think that a restraining order will stop somebody who uses your address to file their health insurance?
I know. I don't know, man.
Next time a loan comes due, I'm gonna say, "Hey, buddy, don't break my legs. Zendaya's got your money. Zendaya's got it. I'm not. You can't."
Ryan, I use your address for my health insurance.
Yeah, that's the thing.
This is Peter Parker.
Just to check your
equally as well with any rando on the street. It doesn't have to be Miley Cyrus.
That's true. I know.
Buddy, don't get any ideas from Cruise Control tonight. Don't do it.
I mean, if he had done Britney Spears, that would have made more sense because then she would have just went off on a tangent possibly and then fucking agreed to it. Miley, she's like, nah, we're not affiliated.
No thanks.
No thanks.
So Keoki, do you think this is happening to a lot of people and it's hard to stop this or what?
I believe it, and I can actually believe that, and I felt bad for him until he started getting sexually explicit directions to Miley. I'm like, bro, you might have had a chance, but nope, you're doing too far. All right, yeah, you got to go to jail. Stay in jail. Keep him in jail at least until he figures out what's going on, and then put him back in jail so that way he can just leave her alone.
Good.
Yeah, she's a nice picture of her. But I'm like, oh, she should not be going through that, especially Zendaya either. Very nice young lady, very professional. She was awesome. She shouldn't be going through that. These stalkers are out of control.
Didn't Jodie Foster's stalker shoot Ronald Reagan?
Oh, Jodie Foster's
stalker. Isn't that what happened?
Oh, what?
Yeah, he did.
I did not know that.
They had to change the name of the greatest American hero in there.
She was still
hide your wife, hide your kids.
Hide your fucking wife and kids. My God.
Yeah. What do you think about this, Lexi? Do you think that this stalker will never stop, or do you think after going to jail, they'll eventually be like, all right, your restraining order, I'm going to leave you alone?
My tea's gone cold. I'm wondering why. Yeah, stands are a big problem. in Hollywood right now. They're a big problem in general. Like, obviously, they talked about Lennon. His stand killed him. I mean, this is not the first time that this has been a problem. People become obsessed with people, and then they whatever. And it's not just celebrities specifically. This happens with politicians. This happens with anybody who's in a major position of people looking at them. Like, if you're, I guess, celebrity, but like, it's not just about celebrity. Like, it's not people who are like popular, like in that way. It's everyone who's in a high level position of eyes are on you kind of thing. You suddenly become a target, right? So people figures, people who are in entertainment, people who put themselves out there, people who just are activists, who are really, really vocal, things like that. They're all targets. The minute you start talking and making yourself vocal about a subject or making yourself just known, any of these people, it happens all the time. Like that young girl who was really popular on, I think it was American Idol or one of those ones. She just had success with her career, and then the person went down to Florida and killed her. Right? And
that's messed up.
16, 17. That one just happened. So there's a lot of this going on that's going bigger and bigger.
The internet does do that.
And I personally, I go down a lot of rabbit holes on YouTube, and I'm obsessed with lolcows, which I don't know if you study lolcows or anything like that.
Racer X.
But they're like, basically like the town weirdo, but the town weirdo now has access to the internet, right? And then everybody watches them, but they influence them too. So then there's also this like dynamic of people influencing those weirdos. And then those weirdos, because there's a guy
feedback loop
with God, what's her name? The one that's just in that movie that's coming out right now with Jake Gyllenhaal, the Metropolitan or whatever. Can't think of her name.
Love Jake Gyllenhaal, friend of the show.
But there's a girl who's in that who has a stalker that is a lolcow that people are obsessed with, people keep encouraging his behavior with this, and it's gonna get bad, and people are like worried now that he's gonna like kill her. And so I'm following that, but I'm following that on my own. Like, that's just a thing I just follow on my own, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, I'm gonna see where this is going and all this kind of stuff. Greta something or whatever, I think is the girl's name.
Greta.
There's a lot of insane people out there, Lexi. But, like Amazonas says too. There's a lot of insane people. They just don't know how to stop. Don't know how to turn that shit off.
People right now, especially in this country, like, we're ignoring mental illness, and we have a gun violence problem, and we're not acknowledging the gun violence problem, and we're not acknowledging the mental illness issues, and we're not doing anything about the drug problems, and we're not doing anything about the problems. And so we have problems all throughout our country, and we're not acknowledging any of our problems, and we're basically giving people tools that are enabling them. Like, I've talked about before, when I was growing up, I was bullied relentlessly, right? But then I look at the internet and I go, I would have been a relentless bully with the internet, because it's a wall. It creates this wall. It creates this like barrier. And I'm like, that barrier would have enabled me in a way that I would have never had, because I was not able to behave that way when I was confronted physically front to front. I was scared. I didn't have that ability. But that wall, that empowered me all of a sudden to go on chat rooms and suddenly be a cocksucker. And suddenly, like, do these things that, like, I didn't previously have the balls to do. And so it's an empowerment tool to have a barrier between you, but still have the ability to say things to people and have them take it, because they can't fight you, right? They can't stop you. I can say whatever I want. Like right now, I can say whatever I want to you, and you can't say shit to me.
Mike Tyson said something about that. Like, people, like, if you can get socked in the mouth, you're going to be watching what you say.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Like, I mean, you're way more likely to not mouth off to somebody who's going to get a gun, right? So, like, with the road rage stuff, like, I have a tendency, like, especially when I was male, I was really bad with road rage. I wouldn't road rage anybody now. Like, it's just because the gun stuff's so bad. It's crazy. So bad. But when I was like in 19 in Florida, you bet your ass I got out of my car sometimes. Like, I mean,
a lot of people have done that shit, though. A lot of people have.
And I look at that stuff and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why would you do that? Like, don't ever act that way. Like, that's going to get you killed. And so it's like, if I was like that, and I'm like not that kind of person, right? But I've had those moments in my life. Imagine, like, people who are angry and who are upset and who are obsessive and who are, not paying attention to those behaviors, and they're just letting them run.
Fester.
knows that's where stalkers come from a lot of times. Like those emotions go crazy.
You're having a lot of empathy for some maladaptive psychology here, Lexi. Like I gotta applaud you for that because I think that's how you don't address problems by vilifying them and othering them, right? You address them by trying to understand and integrate, right?
Exactly. The biggest problem that we suffer from in this world is that nobody wants to pay attention to their own problems and try to fix them.
Yeah, and then the people's problems
want to try to help people with their own problems as well. It's like, I see that you're suffering from the same thing I'm suffering from. Is there a way I can help you?
Right. Well, because there's no money in that, and that's why they're not allowing that to go through.
Right.
Why mental health? They're like, oh, can we make money off of this? No. So let's just let them be homeless and continue.
And that's where it sucks. Like that, it opens a door for people to freaking just lose their minds and do shit like this, and then not even be themselves. Like they're outside of a box a lot of times, and so it's like they don't even know what they're doing. Sometimes, and then they fall into this world that's like maybe it's not them, or maybe it is them. Who knows? But, so what do you think about
money than functional human beings?
Exactly. If they were actually
we want to be functional. We want to be functional. Functional is good even if you're a functional alcoholic. It's good stuff. You know what I mean? You're contributing to society. It's a great thing. You can do your drugs, do your shit, fuck your bitches, fuck your men, whatever, getting to work and make the fucking machine work. Spencer, what do you think about this? You think that Miley Cyrus's stalker will actually get through this whole thing, get through to his mind that he will leave her alone, or do you think that this fool is broken with this system and he will never find a way away from being fucking so attracted to her he cannot fucking stop using her address for insurance?
The address thing is kind of amazing.
He needs a full stop.
It drives me nuts.
It's almost just, if he wasn't a stalker, then it'd be funny. You know what I mean? He'd just be like,
That's right. You're right.
I use Miley Cyrus's address. You do what? Yeah, nobody caught me. But he's kind of, he's definitely got some obsessive issues, I would say. Also, on this whole mental health issue, social media just doesn't help it at all. Really condones all of it, and if not creates some of it on its own. So, I do hear a lot on set, like celebrities complaining, and I don't know what the phenomena is, but they complain about how people will just kind of start talking to them on the street, like they just know them. You know what I mean? And it's very jarring for a lot of celebrities because they're like, I'm sorry, have we met before? It's like, no, I just follow you and I watch all of your life unfold through magazines and
parasocial,
and
right?
Stuff. So it's
true.
like, this person thinks that they know everything about you, or they know you because they've seen so much of you, when in reality it's like, it's not quite fair. You know what I mean? And I understand that, but it comes with a spotlight. I figured just about every celebrity's got at least one stalker. Some of them are going to be worse than others. But I think this guy's going to go to jail.
I think so too. I think he got out. He'll go right back. I think he's going to go right back.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's going to go back.
I've had stalkers on social media.
How can you make somebody respect a restraining order is what I want to know.
Oh, no.
I mean, you can't. If they want to get involved, they're going to get involved. They're not going to leave you alone. I mean, if they're that obsessed with you, they're going to stay that obsessed with you. Like a law is not going to change that. It's just not going to change that. I mean, that's why, like, when I see the Starman movie, all I see is a stalking alien who wants to be with this girl, even though it's like not his wife, but he looks like his wife. I mean, it's her husband, but it's not her husband. You know what I'm talking about. But if you've seen Starman with Jeff Bridges, like, it's a great 80s flick. It really is. And I love this movie. It's one of my guilty pleasures. Jeff Bridges is the fucking man. And he's always been his whole career. When he was younger, too, he was doing some great roles. This was an awesome one. And honestly, now they're going to reboot it. They're going to reboot it, apparently, and it's been in the works for a long time. Since 2010, I think it's been in the works. It's been in the works for a long time. But Sean Levy actually is involved with this. Sean Levy's been involved. They've been going back and forth about if they're going to do it or not to do it. But the Free Guy director, he's done a lot of shit. He's working on Deadpool, but he's apparently assigned on to direct this, the 1984 classic Starman. And who's going to be playing Starman? Michael B. Jordan apparently just signed on. So before, Michael B. Jordan to play Jeff Bridges' part. Now, before, if you want to, it's about an alien who crash lands on Earth and falls in love during his quest to get back home. Now, this went back to I thought it was 2016 actually. Went back to 2016, and they had some ideas, but then it fell out. It came back. They had no actor attached, and Sean was working on the script, and apparently they said they couldn't figure it out to just be the perfect script for this. And so the Hollywood Reporter actually reported this was happening. And we thought it was happening way back then. Of course, delays, COVID, and now Sean Levy's been doing all the Deadpool movies. He's been really freaking busy. But the writer and him got together, and here's what he said back in 2020. He said, and thus far in the script development of Starman, we haven't gotten a draft that feels worthy of making that title. But since then, when Michael B. Jordan came on board, apparently they figured something out. So Starman is coming, the reboot. And, I'd watch it. Honestly, I would watch it because I like this movie. I think it's great. The 80s, the problem is I'm so obsessed with that 80s version. We're going to be talking about this a lot tonight, guys. A lot about this, about, 80s versions versus now, because there's a lot of 80s movies that are coming out as reboots or their early development. Again, writer strike's done. People are talking about it. They're allowed to talk about it. They're allowed to talk about what they've been working on. So I love this movie. It's a cheesy movie. The graphics aren't the best. It might be a lot better nowadays. The idea is great. But again, it's an alien who impersonates a dead person. And then the girl falls in love with him because he looks like her husband. So, I mean, it's some weird territory. It's some weird territory to dive into. Yeah. But okay, I'm going to go to my co-host, Mike Casey Fast. Mike, do you think this is a great idea to reboot, or should they have left it back in 1980?
Why don't they make movies like this anymore? I want Jeff Bridges to be an alien to come down and fall in love with me. Everything doesn't have to be a Marvel movie. Let's get some magical realism with some ideas. I watch a lot of 90s movies just because there's some kind of imaginative conceits that I think that the audience has no problem. If you set up your rules from the beginning and you understand, okay, well, he's an alien, we can accept that as reality. And then we get to have a story that doesn't have to be a gritty fucking reboot. It can just be falling in love with an alien, and that's a beautiful thing. I only discovered today that this is a John Carpenter movie.
I didn't know that.
So 100% John Carpenter movie.
Yeah, that said, I have not seen this movie. But
you've not seen it, Mike?
Right up. I haven't seen
it either.
I probably put it on and taken a nap because the cover art looks familiar.
Put it on and take a nap.
Yeah, no, I
remember the prequel review.
Michael B. Jordan's going to be a hella sexy alien. That's all I got to say.
He'll be a sexy alien. I'm down for it.
I will say this. He brought up in the comments Racer X, the TV show. That I remember. I remember seeing that shit all the time. And I remember going,
was that in the 90s?
Fucking terrible. I'm never going to watch this.
Was it bad? Was it really bad?
It was worse than Alienation, the TV show, which was one of the worst.
Oh, Alienation.
Oh, I remember that shit.
Which the movie's great, but the TV show was fucking terrible, really bad. So,
yeah.
It's just one of those kind of things. Didn't work as a TV show. There was a lot of things that the 80s, the late 80s, when they would try to make TV shows.
He's producing
out of that stuff. It was never good. None of them were good. They just weren't. But the concept was there. They were let's make a TV show out of it. I was yeah, it's a good idea, but just you never did well. I don't know why we keep doing this. I don't know if you know the history of John Carpenter or not. I mean, he was doing really well as an independent director, and when he did Halloween and all that kind of shit, when he was blowing up, and then Hollywood was we have big plans for you. And so John Carpenter thought he was going to have a big career in Hollywood and genuinely was planning himself to be a large Hollywood director. And they gave him the remake of The Thing. And
oh my God.
They said
that
they thought that he's going to do really well with the remake of The Thing, and that they were planning to give him Firestarter. That was going to be his
another big movie
project. And The Thing was an absolute bomb. It absolutely destroyed his career. It was a huge financial failure. It did not make any money, and it basically crippled John Carpenter's career. And after The Thing, they went, yeah, you're not doing fucking Firestarter. You're out. And
oh, shit.
Hollywood was we're not working with you.
You make good movies, Racer X.
And so everything after that is independent. So John Carpenter spent the rest of his career as an independent director. He never achieved Hollywood grade director status. It's all because The Thing destroyed him. He has a personal bitter resentment towards The Thing.
It was good.
And the thing is
so good.
He is a very angry, bitter man who hates The Thing. And he's just now at this point in his life coming into acceptance of The Thing being a fantastic film and the cult following that he's achieved from it. But, as someone who watched his career be destroyed by that film, he doesn't feel the way that everybody else feels about it. And so he just has a very angry, bitter chip on his shoulder about Hollywood. And so when you presented this to me tonight, and then I see the next thing that we're going to talk about, which is another reboot of another one of his films.
Of another John Carpenter project.
And seeing other projects with Halloween also being something that they've gone in. I just feel like, on a personal level, and I feel
Nice fact, Justin.
feels the same way, that John Carpenter has just been endlessly disrespected by Hollywood.
Absolutely.
And that to continue doing this to him, go, hey, John, remember these movies that you made that, they weren't that great because they weren't put out by us, right? We're going to reboot them and give them the real director.
Make them great now.
And let them like whatever. And they were all excellent films because John Carpenter is an exceptional filmmaker. He had original ideas. He had original concepts. He did all his own soundtracks. He was one of the most interesting and prolific directors. And on a personal level, he's always been very important to me because I've never seen anybody put out films like him. But like to understand him and what he had to go through in the system, it's a travesty. And like, he's a broken man. And to see him today as he's a broken man. And I understand why he is where he is. So I don't really want to see his movies get remade. I don't want to see that.
It's going to happen though, Lexi.
But I want
to going down.
A chance. If you really want to help the man, give him a fucking chance.
Let him direct it, right?
I would.
Like,
that would be freaking amazing.
I would
let him direct it.
I don't think he can make a movie anymore. I think like because I know that the Masters of Horror he made about the abortion clinic was terrible, and I think like there's been some really bad films from him in the end of his career. I mean, Ghosts of Mars is an abysmal film. It's
Ghosts of Mars. The script was iffy.
And
it was all right. It wasn't the best.
It wasn't good, and it's not. It just had so many problems. It was like watching two box cars on a track and a bunch of fucking sand and Ice Cube give one of the worst performances. And Ice Cube's a good director or actor. I love Ice Cube, genuinely. Like he's a good actor. I don't know what his performance.
He never dies in his movies, by the way. Can't kill Ice Cube.
That's right.
It's like
that's true.
I don't think that I think what you do at this point is you celebrate him and you give him a chance to like, have his films real praise. But I don't think you remake his stuff. I don't think you do what you're doing with him. So I don't.
You let him, like you're saying, Lexi. Let him direct. Let him direct it. Let him give him a chance. Like technology's changed. If you want to reboot this thing,
let him make.
If you're gonna do it,
if there's one thing John Carpenter will not do is remake his own fucking movies.
Yeah, well, he's gonna produce them.
I'm not doing that. I don't want to fucking do that. I'm not remaking that.
He's like, I'll produce that shit. I'm not gonna go beyond that. Spencer, what do you think about this? Spencer, did you watch these at all? Do you know this movie, Starman? Do you think that he should have a chance to direct this again and do a reboot, or should they just leave this? If it didn't do that well, leave it in the past.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I not a lot I can weigh in on this. Yep, haven't seen the movie. Love Jeff Bridges.
It's so good.
I think it'd be cool. They brought him back, honestly, but I don't know. I get real tired of recycling old material. And,
that's good. Sabrina's not here, so somebody had to say it.
Yeah.
Somebody had to say it. Yeah.
And the biggest problem I think with recycling old material is, expectation. The audience has some predisposition or expectation, and it just throws things askew. You know what I mean? So whether it's good or not, people are typically pissed off about something. So I don't know. You can make an alien come to Earth and fall in love and just name it something different,
You could.
Well, and this very premise
you could honestly do that
several times again, like over and over again.
It's marketing, right?
It's all marketing.
It's a very different movie, I would imagine.
The name tests well, and people are going to come back to theaters because they remember the name, and it's going to sell better than a new title. It's fucking capitalism.
You got a built-in David Bowie song already, same name.
Yeah.
Throw it over the credits.
Yeah.
I think we lost Keoki for a second. Keoki, are you still there, man?
Don't even get me started on capitalism.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still alive. Okay. I'm just getting my life together real quick.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Mike, do you think though, never mind. Cause honestly, Starman,
that's exactly
I honestly, this whole thing, Mike, like Starman, again, we're saying it's one of those 80s movies that maybe I think the way they did it works so well. Like special effects are going to go so far. Like leave it in the past. Leave John Carpenter alone, because I would say one, if you're going to redo it, if you're going to redo a John Carpenter movie, you should probably do this one, which they are. That's called They Live, because They Live is coming out, everybody. They Live. Yeah. We're going to talk about this, Lex. We're going to talk about They Live. If you're going to do it, They Live.
You should do it. No, you should not do it.
It's going to be so good.
Let me break it down fast.
I'm very excited.
We're going to talk about They Live. So, Roddy Piper. I love me some Roddy Piper. Freaking put him in the sleeper hold and say goodnight. But Roddy Piper's They Live and John Carpenter's, they're planning a reboot. And this is another movie that, again, they've been planning for a long time. This is a 1988 cult classic. And of course, it comes down to Roddy Piper's character. He finds these glasses, he puts them on, and he sees that the world is much different than he believes it is. Now, of course, there's a satire on the world we live in. And the idea of it really falls into, there's a lot about capitalism. There's a lot about like the world we live in, what we're doing, consume, live, repeat, reproduction. Like it's just like everything's like blatant. It's there, but it's like we don't see it. If you've seen the movie, it's actually a really well done movie. And Roddy Piper for a wrestler does a great job. But now apparently Matt Reeves is coming in to direct. Matt Reeves and Andy Serkis is actually coming as well to lead in it. Now, they're not saying that Andy Serkis's character is going to be playing the same part as Roddy Piper. Maybe he'll play a villain. Maybe he'll play like one of the aliens. That could be a lot of fun. He plays a lot of character roles. Mike and I were talking about the other day, earlier today, actually. So maybe it'll be something like that. But of course, Matt Reeves is doing the Batman movies. So there's that still. But he's been trying to make this happen since 2010. The Batman, he also did the Planet of the Apes movies. That's probably where he met Andy Serkis. Okay. He did the whole franchise, a new franchise for that, and now he's doing the Batman. So, and he's been trying to do this since 2011. Now, they started in 2010. They signed him on in 2011, and then they actually were trying to figure things out. It fell out, and they came back again, and now apparently it's finally moving forward. And this whole thing, it looks. I mean, it's great. It's based off of Ray Nielsen's 1963 short story, 8 o'clock in the morning, and apparently with Matt Reeves, he's trying to make it more about that than what they did with the actual Roddy Piper one. They're trying to change it and make it more based on the source material and less of being that as campy as it was. But I mean, I still think they did a great job with that movie at the time. And I had a fun time with it. I mean, they spent $3 million on this and they made $13 million. Back in like 1988, that was a lot of money. Did really well for them.
VHS rentals, man. I've rented it 18 times myself.
That's a good question. I mean, 13 million just at that time. And it's a big movie, Carpenter big movie. Mike, dive into us for it. Do you think that this is a good idea to do a reboot to this, or do you think they should have let They Live in the past?
Am I right about this, Brian? You had on that old ass gigantic wooden tube TV in your basement, you had a VHS copy of They Live.
I did.
And that's the first time I saw that movie, which probably would have been sometime around 1998. This movie is great. This movie is great. I love this movie so much. It's easily in my top 5 of 1980s movies. It's an incredibly broad cultural allegory. So people took swings at it at the time, the critics, when they were reviewing the movie. But now, it's so stripped away. It just becomes the platonic ideal of this kind of cultural commentary. There's nothing else. And also the campiness totally sells it, and also means that all the kind of archetypes that they're hitting, like Roddy Piper, his character's name, this drifter, nobody, everyman, his name is Nada. Literally, everything is just a symbol. And the thing is, they sell it so hard because Roddy Piper is he's charismatic as a mofo. He comes across so great in this movie. What I'm interested in is we know Andy Serkis is involved. But Brian, when we were talking earlier, we don't necessarily know that if
he's playing Piper's part, we have no idea.
He'll be playing Roddy Piper, because you made a great comment, which is that there's in the original movie, there's a lot of alien faces, right?
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of different people with alien faces. He could be doing all of that stuff in CG. He could be playing 100 different characters, and that wouldn't surprise me at all. That would be cool. So if you guys have any casting thoughts, it's really tricky. They're going to need someone with mega charisma. Brian, do you think Batista is too big and muscly Drax? You think he's lovable enough? You think he's lovable enough and has that sad like backstory kind of pathos is what the character had?
He's not.
I'll tell you,
you could totally.
That's a terrible choice. No, when I saw him in the M. Night Shyamalan movie, where he was in the cabin in the woods, you know, I think he did a great job in that. He showed his acting chops much more than he's ever had.
Actor, yeah.
He's a sensitive actor. I think that alone can prove that he can do a lot more than you think he can. I mean, honestly, Drax is a huge thing for him too, but that role was massive. And based off that role, I could kind of see him doing this. And then I think, do you want to go the wrestler route though? That's the whole question. Do you want to go the wrestler route or get somebody else? You get somebody else, but if you want to play homage to that world, maybe you go that route. I don't think The Rock would play that well. I don't think John Cena would carry it. You know what I mean?
Cena might. It would be a real stretch for Cena.
It would be a stretch for Cena.
I could see John Cena actually doing this. He's actually a better actor. If you've seen Peacemaker, exactly.
I'm like John Cena. I think that's the point.
Right.
I think that
I get it. Sorry,
I don't want to I want to wait till it's my turn.
Yeah, Keoki. Let's let Keoki in there. We'll get to Lexi in seconds. I want to get her. I want to get her last because I know she's got a big opinion about this. What do you think, Keoki?
I love Bautista. I think he can do great things. He has the range for it. I've seen his work. He's done really well. And just like you said, I saw his little Shyamalan movie too. He did great. I already knew he was going to kill it because he just has that ability to him. He knows how to read the scene and bring that calmness. But if you have him or John Cena, I think John Cena would actually probably tear it up. He can bring that authentic presence to it, just like Batista could. But John Cena might be a little too, he's leaning out, so he might be a little too bulky for it. But I think either one of them could actually kill it. They're both really a far better actor than The Rock. The Rock came after his way out of a paper bag.
Roddy Piper was shredded in the original. To do it. He was huge.
He was huge. All right.
Weak remix.
We could remix, but The Rock, no, thank you. I'd even take Jason Momoa over The Rock only because I've seen some movement.
That could be good.
I believe this is Roddy Piper's first acting role, and he comes directly out of the ring into this.
He
killed it.
So wrestling is acting too. I'll put that out there. Wrestling is acting.
When you were saying he's cut. I think he's cut because he came directly out of the ring, and this was his first acting role at all. So, he was still buff.
An action film could be good. Thumbs up there.
He was awesome in this, and he was awesome in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That episode, just love it. Roddy Piper.
He playing the wrestler Mickey Rourke kind of style.
Yeah,
knock you out.
It was just excellent. I was just like, oh my God, Roddy Piper is just too great.
Before we go to Spencer, everybody take a drink. Here we go. Happy Friday, everybody. Remakes galore.
Yeah.
But Spencer, do you agree? Do you think that, John Cena could do this? Do you think Batista? What do you think? What's your casting role for this? And do you think that making this is a good idea? Have you seen They Live?
I have, actually. I watched it a couple years ago. I had a friend of mine had me watch it in preparation for a pilot we were shooting. So,
oh, nice.
It was awesome.
Good inspiration.
Yeah. Great inspiration, especially having not seen it or heard of it actually before. It's all about subliminal marketing and consumerism and sticking it to the man, the good old stick it to the maniosis, So I think I agree with both Mike and Keoki here. Andy Serkis, totally. You build a relationship with a director and they know that you can do something right. They just bring you back. You know what I mean? So I imagine they're going to do some CG of some sort. He's probably going to be one of the aliens or all the aliens or something like that. I think, you gotta stick it with, the wrestling community. It was one of the cool things about it. And I think it actually kind of became a cult classic in some way because of that. So, I think, I agree. The Rock, no, don't want to see it. John Cena would be awesome. I fucking love John Cena, especially lately. His comedy's good.
John Cena's been killing it.
Yeah, but I do think Batista's a better dramatic actor. I think he could do it, some justice. And if they don't, they could do this so well or so terribly. So it's kind of sad to think about because it's not like they've been doing very well lately. But I don't know.
Spencer, you remember that 6-minute fight sequence in They Live?
Oh God,
because that's what I want to see.
I want to see
everybody remembers that.
The other character saying, like "Eat that trash can."
Crashing his head in.
There's going to be so many, pastiche homages, references to that kind of thing, regardless, which I think is going to be awesome. But if they can make it real while still just having ridiculous, cats in the background, cat noises and random shit, I think it's
cat noise there, Mike.
No.
Yeah. I think
they got to keep the campy level. You're right. It's critical to the vibe of the original and the success.
Mm-hmm.
And they're calling it They Live Conspiracy Unveiled. So I mean, maybe it's so that's what they're unveiled. Maybe I don't know what I said. I've been drinking a little bit. Unveiled. Thank you, co-host.
3 words total. That's it. Ugh.
I know. So Lexi, rip us apart. You think this is not supposed to be happening? What do you think? First of all, take a drink and then tell us, because I guarantee you need you need that when you get into this. I guarantee it's going to be good. Magic.
Another one.
First of all, that fight sequence is the longest on-screen single shot fight sequence ever shot in film history.
It's so good.
It's amazing.
So yeah, good job. But the original film is obviously like a social commentary. It's a great film. It's perfect for Reagan era. And it's very much of its era. Like, it's obviously it carries over into modern era, but it's also very perfect for where it came from and what it is. Also, this movie has basically been remade and nobody watched it. It was called Branded, and it was a brilliant fucking movie. And I don't know why nobody watched it. And actually, I tried to buy the DVD of Branded recently, and it's fucking impossible to get your hands on. That was the one where the advertisements came to life. They were all aliens. I don't know if anybody saw that.
I never saw that. No.
Fucking amazing.
Me neither.
It came out in like the 2010s. Such a good movie. I think it might have been Russian, actually. So maybe that's why people were like a little confused about it. But that was a good movie. And basically, like, that's a good modernization of this film. So it's already been done. I don't know what you want to do, because Branded is exactly the direction that you want to take it if you're going to do it. Outside of this, They Live is incredibly male, and that's okay. I'm not complaining about that. But the original film is essentially from the perspective of a man who is a very average man, like a very, very basic intelligence man who comes across these glasses. And so his interpretation of what he discovers and what he figures out, he handles in a very male way. My statement of this is because, like, he's angry and he handles things like with a giant long fist fight with his friend to try to get his sunglasses on. He handles the discoveries by going and picking up guns and running in and guns blazing. He handles most of his situations through anger, frustration, and anger is more of where he goes to with things. They're very male responses, and those are all reasonable, and I think that makes this film really good. It also is very 80s once again, because he's a very good male protagonist, and he's a very strong 80s male protagonist. He encompasses the 80s male action hero, but he also dumbs it down and makes him palatable for everybody. So he is an everyman action hero that we can all be as men, but also handles the situation as most men would. And I think that's important, where it's a really solid piece of male subject matter. When you're remaking this movie for 2030 or 2023, make it a woman. Make it a woman. Like, go as a woman. Go that direction. Make the protagonist female. Change the direction of it to, like, how a woman would handle the situation. How a woman would handle it in the modern world. And that's the way you remake it.
That's a really compelling movie, Lexi.
Because
that's interesting.
Same film.
Different.
Just change it to a woman.
Who would you pick?
I cast? I don't know.
Top 2?
We need.
No,
I wouldn't go.
Rowdy Ronda Rousey. We need then. Rowdy Ronda Rousey. That's what we need.
Would you go starts kicking ass? I think that's not what you're saying.
You're saying
she does that.
In it.
But you're saying
in it.
I don't want a strong female. I want a normal woman. I want an every woman, right? Because Roddy Piper is essentially an everyman in a lot of ways. Like, most men want to be like that. Even when I was male, there was like aspects of that even I wanted to be like. I was like, I want to be him, right? I wanted to be Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper's a badass in that movie. He's fucking awesome. So it's like, if I was going to be a man, that's the man I want to be. Like, all day. Like, he's a fucking hero, and he's got like the poor people's backs, and like he's such a like great character. Like, he's a good fucking character. And like also he's hot, and like it's good. So it's like when you say Batista, and like I know Batista's a great actor, but he's not hot.
Friend of the show.
So it's like I don't really want to be Batista.
Leave his head alone. Leave his head alone.
I'm not making fun of him. Like he's fine. Like I'm not saying that, but like Piper was just like a very like hot average guy, and that was the whole point. So I think with this, find us like a pretty average, cute looking girl to just kind of stumble through the action.
Aubrey Plaza.
Zooey Deschanel or something like that. Like I'm not. I don't want that. I don't want a comedic like story. I don't want that
because she was good in White Lotus, though. That was dramatic chops.
That was great.
That was dramatic. She was actually excellent in that.
She was excellent. She was terrific.
Phenomenal actress.
If you take the exact same story, exact same plot, exact same thing, they live a whole like the whole thing that Roddy Piper goes through, but you eliminate the male elements and you change it to a woman, the whole story is going to be different, right? A woman's going to react to everything differently. She's going to handle everything differently. It's just a natural change of progression that's going to occur by the protagonist being female, and so it's going to be a much different film. It's going to be a different film. And it's going to be an intriguing way to change the direction of it. And it's going to be something that's going to draw Gen Z. And it's going to draw women. And it's not going to necessarily draw the old crowd who's going to come in with an expectation that we all know was what's going to be the reason for the movie. Because they're like, oh, they live. It's a remake, right? We're going to go watch that. Yeah. Now there's like, oh, they remade this movie, but they chose to make it a woman instead of a man. That's a whole new audience that's intrigued with that. That's a whole new audience of people that want to go see that.
It's a different movie.
That's a whole new film.
It is a different
I'm enjoying
You're still being pulled by what it is, what it used to be. I want to see what they did with this. I want to see how they took this fucking movie about this big old muscle man and turned it into this feminist whatever film. Like, how do they do this? And then like the men are gonna go watch like, oh, did they fucking ruin this movie? How do they destroy it and make it all shitty and female like Barbie? How'd they fuck it up, right? So they're gonna go watch it just to ruin it, just to be like complaining about it. And then like, the other side of it are gonna like go watch it because they want to see what was done and how they can like take it. And if you do a good job with it and give it to the right woman to direct it, or the right director in general who's gonna respect the subject matter and treat it properly, then you're gonna get a fucking awesome movie, right?
I'm not sure about what Justin said, though. I'm not sure what Justin said, though.
Make it about a fucking trans woman. That would be a fucking awesome movie right there. Just make it about a fucking trans woman.
I mean, it's all...
oh my God, what am I dealing with?
Kind of Matrix thing going on. For a trans woman, it's actually a very easy way to write the script.
That movie
was
good,
but
it can work. It can work easily from that.
Yeah, but they live like... It's such a great idea... And it's an alien invasion thing. We're talking about a lot of alien invasion movies tonight. If you're able to change it some way to make the reboot work, that's great, because a lot of times we do these things and it's just like the same formula, same deal. Lexi, I love you trying to change it up. Make it something different. Make it a new movie. Throw the tagline for those producers down there. Oh, they live. And that's what they're already changing the title already. So maybe they're thinking this already, and then make it a different movie, but yet you can still bring the nostalgia in. But people are still going to hate it. Oh, my Alexa does not like that.
I'm telling you, bring Aubrey Plaza in and then do it the exact same way and have her react by buying guns and beating the shit out of her friends. And everybody's going to be like, this is hysterical.
It would work like that sick. Too, honestly.
Well, no, it would. I
just want to say as well, if you do go the route of a woman, please, no maternal shit, no fucking mother shit, no maternal shit.
Yeah,
I want to see some underwater.
She's pregnant, but she's still having sex.
I want to see. I want to see some. It's just like the same way you'd play it as a male, but with a woman.
Yeah,
there needs to be more.
I want a 6-minute fucking fight scene where they're fucking punching the fuck out of each other, fucking punching the shit out of each other, ripping their fucking tops off. Men are gonna love that shit. I'm just saying.
Every time we have a strong female character in a fucking movie, we've got to slide maternal shit into it. I'm so fucking over it. Stop with the fucking maternal shit. Women can be strong without needing fucking babies and fucking mother shit. It's so ridiculous.
I feel like. I feel like that's kind of what they're doing. They're kind of tweaking it for nowadays with the new Toxic Avenger movie coming out, because you got to find a way to twist things around to make this 80s nostalgia movies work. You know, you gotta find a way. But Toxic Avenger is coming, and Peter Dinklage is fucking helming this. I love me some Peter Dinklage. He's amazing. Like, he's such a fucking right, Keoki, phenomenal actor. And he's the titular character in this. You got Peter Dinklage, you got Kevin Bacon, you got Elijah Wood, you got Taylor Page, you got Jacob Tremblay. But the idea is they're changing a little bit. It's Legendary Pictures doing this too, and they're changing it slightly. Now, the original one, they followed the fate of Melvin Fred Junko III, who, you know, goes Junko the third, who goes from zero to toxic hero, Mike, from zero to toxic hero in a case of bullying gone wrong. But now they're going to change it a little bit, and they're going to make it contemporary, taking and following a hideously deformed creature or superhero size, and give him a strength of his own. But Peter Dinklage now is going to be the down-rotten janitor, Winston Goose, which is a weird name, Goose, who is a janitor, and then he gets into a vat of toxic chemicals, and then he becomes the Toxic Avenger. So they're tweaking it quite a bit.
That's what happens. You fall in the vat, and you become a weird superhero.
It's the Joker. It's the Joker effect, Mike. Right now, it's sitting at 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. A 94%. People are loving it. They were actually airing it just recently at a bunch of film festivals. People are going nuts about it. They're loving Peter Dinklage's performance. They're loving the idea of it. It's a lot different from the original, but it's also tying in nostalgia. And I just want to watch this trailer together as fans and see what we think about the Toxic Avenger. So here we go. Here's the trailer for the Toxic Avenger.
Yes.
There are still no leads as to the identity of
the freaky folk hero
remains at large.
Sir, what did you see last night?
I heard gunshots, saw blood. Handsome fella had his arm tore off like wet bread, and the creature run off into the night.
He looks like a fucked up hot dog.
I love this. I love this 80s media shit. I can't get enough of this.
Can we put that up? Anyone that may have encountered the strange.
Breaking news!
Breaking news!
Hide the kids, hide your wife.
Extremists, the nasty lads, they've taken hostages at a Miss-Meat Lunchatorium downtown.
Let's go live.
We are nasty lads! We are angry!
Who the fuck are you?
Does he actually play by Peter Dinklage?
Yeah, it's Peter Dinklage.
What the hell is that?
He's a hero.
Watch what?
The Toxic Avenger.
That's what the kids are calling him. I think it's swell.
The Toxic Avenger, everybody. Yeah, it's definitely a very, they're taking it back. They're holding back the nostalgia from the old movie. They're making it feel like it's in that time. And Peter Dinklage kicking some ass. I mean, a lot of people don't remember the Toxic Avenger. You're right, Glamazon. I mean, I didn't know about it. I saw this trailer and I was like, that's pretty fucking cool, though. Peter Dinklage, great actor. You're bringing in that, and it's like you're taking 80s thing that maybe a lot of people don't remember. There's that, like Lexi was saying, there was a Saturday morning show about this too. So you're finding a way to bring it to relevancy nowadays, but you're also being true to what it came from. So I don't know. Spencer, I'm gonna go with you first, man. So have you heard of the Toxic Avenger before?
Nope.
And do you think, if you haven't heard of it, do you think that this trailer is a good adaptation, or maybe just a good film in general, based off the trailer, and fans will go watch it?
I loved it. Yeah, I think it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, very ironic we went from They Live to this, because they did the 80s, perfectly, that little homage and everything. And then you get into the scene, and it's all, cinematic. And then it looks like it gets pretty gritty, which is going to be fun, especially with a modern audience. They want to see blood, guts, and gore, and some sort of anti-hero, that's irregular. Yeah, that's perfect.
Right?
I think it's going to be great. Yeah, Peter Dinklage is amazing. So I'm excited.
Do you think that fans are gonna? I mean, we don't really know much about it so far, but do you think that fans will still be attracted to this project?
I think people will like it. Yeah, I think so. I think people like different things now. And then I don't know. I mean, I guess lots of people are watching superhero stuff, but I think this is a little less superhero-y and guy off the beaten path just trying to help people out. So But he's got a wizard stick, so that's a little weird. I saw that.
The little wizard stick,
I think people like it.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm like, this is fucking weird and good, but horrible, but fantastic. I was like watching it. I'm like, how is this even a thing? How did it has this whole fan base? It's amazing. I don't know. Keoki, have you heard of this before? Do you like the trailer? What do you think about the Toxic Avenger?
The Toxic Avenger. I had the action figure from the 90s when they redid the cartoon. So
nice.
I was all ready for it. I even saw parts and clips of the old 80s movies. So I was like, what? And I also saw some nude scenes in there, so I was kind of like, wait a minute, I thought this was a cartoon, so I was kind of confused. But I love Peter Dinklage. He's awesome. Elijah Wood. You can't stop Flipper from, continuing to fucking work. I love this guy. So anything with Peter Dinklage, I'm going to give it a look just because he's excellent. And this looks super crazy. I'm on board. I'm on board. Look at Elijah Wood with the comb over. Like, bro, you're pulling emo in 2023. You can't stop that. He is the Penguin, exactly. Oh, I just watched Batman Returns, and I'm just like, yes, this is total Penguin right here.
Yeah,
my God, just excellent.
Great. He's very Penguin.
Got an Oscar. Yeah,
but very it reminds me of a lot that they've been doing recently. Yes. Or I think about the Penguin too from the Batman too. It reminds me of that a little bit as well, of Colin Farrell's performance too, right? A little bit. You see the pictures, you're like, wow, this looks great. And it's also, again, an 80s project you're trying to ramp up and make it something relevant to today. And I saw a trailer. It looks fucking good. It looks good, Lexi, right? Are you sold on this, Lexi? You're going to hate on this shit. I want to know. You're going to hate on this or you're going to love it?
I just I can't fathom this. Like, who the fuck is looking at trauma movies and going, let's remake some fucking trauma movies? Like, whoever thought this was ever like an option or whatever.
Right? It's true.
Like I said, like I was saying, like when we were talking before the show started, like there was this weird period in like from 89 to 91 where some asshole decided like Rambo and RoboCop and Toxic Avenger, let's make Saturday morning cartoons out of this and manufacture toys out of it. And they were all like selling adult properties to kids.
How can we sell plastic?
And the aliens, like they had the aliens.
We gotta find a way.
And like it was
Rambo
like,
was a force of freedom.
They're all lines of like crap,
right, Keoki?
Not meant for kids, but like they were selling like the shit to kids. So it was a weird like period where like we as kids were given some shit that were not meant for us. Like
not for kids.
Oh my God.
Like
it wasn't.
Not for kids.
The very idea that anybody looked at anything made by trauma like at all.
That is the gnarliest fucking gif you've ever had on the show, Brian, by 1,000 times.
I got to bring in hot,
Just sitting there replaying.
I'm generally surprised. Like a lot of you guys are not familiar. Like, are you guys familiar with trauma at all, or any of that kind of stuff?
I've seen a couple of their things, which is all that. Yeah,
they used to talk about Kabuki Man on Talk Soup.
Kabuki Man is my all-time favorite. But like, if you're into trauma, you understand. Like, okay, like I was talking, like I've been talking with Justin and Jacob about this, and I was like, this is one of those areas where it's like trauma is bad, but trauma is supposed to be.
I don't know.
That's the whole point. Like trauma is intentionally bad cinema. If you understand Lloyd Kaufman was like, I want to make money. He's like, if you've read his book, How to Make Films, he's a brilliant like money maker. He's all there to make money. He was like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about this. I don't give a shit about making quality products. He's like, I want to make shit.
Sounds like the Roger Corman model.
Exactly. He's even harder.
Oh yeah, he made so many projects though, Roger, right?
Yeah.
So trauma produces like so much content, and all of it is bad, and it's intentionally bad. I have a story from film school when I was going to effects school.
That's straight whiskey.
My guy who trained me, Jerry Gergley, he's a really prolific effects artist. And he was trying to get a job back in the day. And he tried to apply for a job at Troma, and they were like, "Guy, I can't hire you." And he's like, "Why?" And they're like, "I can't hire you. You're too good." And he's like, "What do you mean I'm too good?" And he's like, "I need a bad makeup artist. I need someone who's bad. I need someone who sucks." And he's like, "Well, I can give you bad makeup." He's like, "No. You're not listening. I need someone who's bad." He's like, "You're good, kid. You're good. I need someone who sucks." He's like, "You need to go do real work." He's like, "You're not good at it. You're too good for me. I need an actually shitty makeup artist to come work for me because I need to produce garbage." And so that was Kaufman's like attitude was like, I need genuinely bad people to work for me because I need to produce crap.
Interesting.
That
ethos.
was like the attitude of Troma. Troma is intentionally producing shit. That is like the goal of Troma. So when you sit here and you say to me, like, and I respect that. I respect that as an art form, and I respect that as a model for your business. And so when you have spent more than 40, 50 years building that model of shit, and that is what you've built your model, killer condoms and fucking Sergeant Kabuki.
I love killer condoms.
And like all this shit, like
I don't know what it is, but
like,
I love it.
And like a library of some of the worst films ever known to man. Like Beware Children at Play, a film that has the most kid deaths of any film ever made. Romeo and Juliet, a fucked up, bizarre retelling of Romeo and Juliet. One of the most fucked up movies ever. Yeah, James Gunn did actually come from Troma. He got his start there, making
fuck yeah, James Gunn for the show.
Like the thing about this is like Toxic Avenger was their mascot.
I made a dent
They
on
made
this.
5 of these movies because like he was their flagship garbage. And so like the idea that somebody sat down and said, I want to take this to Hollywood, give it a large budget, remake it, and give it to audiences. And like I see like what you guys
Lexi is crazy.
Peter Dinklage is funny in it, and it's like, I don't fucking care. I'm like, who the fuck is going and doing
Who asked for this?
And I'm like, cash grab. Cash grab is all I fucking see here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like,
Absolutely. Spencer asked for it. Spencer said, give it to me all day. I want it now. I want it now.
It's disrespectful as far as I'm concerned. I'm like, it's just disrespectful to something that is supposed to be this, because like, I know it's weird, but it's like, it's still art. And like, when you build a model of lowbrow art, and that is your model and your moniker of lowbrow art, and as a person who is a film person who has grown up respecting this and loving it, not because it's, you know, shitty and garbagey and like whatever, but loving that this like guy built this entire empire on this model and has had so much success from it and has such a large cult following and has built like established characters that have lived throughout our entire like lexicon of like Trump. Like, you think you haven't seen Toxic Avenger show up in the background of shit? You haven't seen Sergeant Kabuki Man show up in the background of shit? These are like prolific
Kabuki Joe.
People like don't realize are there, but are always there. You know what I mean? Like, they've been.
How do you stop it though, Lexi? They just want to fucking make money off it. There's like, oh, there's a fucking IP. The IP is just fucking strong with these people.
I can't fight it. I can't say anything about it. What am I going to do? My opinion is not relevant. But like, if you're asking me and we're having the discussion that we're having, it's fucking idiotic. I don't understand why we're doing it. I don't understand like what the point of it is. Who the fuck? Like, of all the things, like I sit here all the time and I say,
who's it for?
There are tons of films to remake. There is a plethora of films to remake. And you want to go and you want to remake They Live. And you want to go and remake the films that are good. You want to remake Nightmare on Elm Street. You want to remake The fucking Exorcist. Films that are like Academy Award films. Films that deserve more acclaim and more respect than you even gave them at the time. Like, and you want to fucking like make more of them and try to cash in on more of them and redo them again when they were prolific and whatever. And like, once again, the thing that I always go back to, Jordan Peele made Get Out. I'm drunk. So let me a little way on that one. Jordan.
You know what this is for, Lexi?
Get Out for like $10 million.
You know who asked for all this? Mike Casey asked for all this. Mike Casey asked for all of it.
I did.
He's been telling me he wants all the 80s reboots coming.
Yeah.
He wants them now.
I do.
And if he doesn't get them, he's gonna slap.
I'm taking it. I'm jumping in co-hosting mode before all you fuckers pass out on the floor. I think that Troma teaches us in some ways the same lesson that John Carpenter does with that very workmanlike. Like you see a movie like They Live, and it's an action movie, but you think, you know, like if I had a handful of friends and a decent like a 8mm camera, you could make that movie in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
Every one of the people sitting in this chat right here, right now, should love and respect Troma.
I think that really teaches us something, and I think that in some ways, like despite the fact that they're repeating the IP, might because what we want people to be inspired, because people have more tools than they've ever had in the past, right? Like, so let's get out there. Let's make some movies. I'm trying to think of what I had to say about this. Oh yeah, like we got a lot of nostalgia coming at us, right? And I'm a broken record. I think that nostalgia is a tool of oppression, evoking sentiments of a past that never existed to create populist waves within the mass of people. It's ooze. It's 1980s ooze. The Turtles had the ooze.
Yeah.
Troma's got the ooze. Give me the ooze. Sorry, I totally derailed you, Lexi. You had an actual point to make, and I'm
so
like,
much ooze.
It's only visually understanding the content. Like, it looked at it and it went, okay, this is what it is, but it doesn't really understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's visually picking up, like, okay, it visually did this here and here and here. This is what makes this movie. It's like, it's not what makes this movie.
Let me ask you this question, Lexi. We only have the one shot of the jaw blown away. That it looks like there's some decent CG involved in that. Mm-hmm. Do you think that they blew their whole budget on that? Because like you look at all the grainy, media shots from 80s style. Like anybody can do that on Adobe. Like I'm wondering if it's still if they've got a $1.5 million budget or what they're working with.
CG combined with any CG combined with practical is already going against Troma's very fucking metaphors. Like Troma is practical only. Like, I mean, that's just kind of like, because it just costs money. Like, it costs money to do anything extra, right? It's all about being cheap. These movies are supposed to be fucking cheap. So it's just like, it's not supposed to, like, I'm just going to keep looping.
They didn't tip their hat too much. We didn't get to see if there's necessarily some rubber suits going on. We only saw the Avenger shaded.
Somebody was watching RoboCop a lot more than they were watching fucking the Toxic Avenger, quite frankly.
I love me some RoboCop.
There's a lot more
Keoki. It's fucking so good.
RoboCop 2 music escalated, but RoboCop 1, Terrence Bottiger. Come on.
Bring me some fucking RoboCop all day.
There's a lot more of that in this than there is Toxic Avenger, if you ask me.
Yeah, Toxic Avenger. This is one of those things it's fun to see, but it's like, honestly, I don't know what the audience is for. Where's the audience? You got Peter Dinklage in here, so maybe the people will like fucking be attracted to it, but like, I don't know who's asking for this. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably watch it too. I'll probably watch it too.
We'll watch it. We're gonna watch it.
I gotta hate on it. I gotta watch it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, of course. As a good film,
I won't pay for it. I'll find it somewhere.
We're going way over. So I'm gonna ask my co-host right now because I need help sometimes. Mike, do we skip a topic or we go to the feature story? What do you want?
Quick takes. Run through it quick. We're getting one soundbite. Everybody go.
Okay, so this might be an 80s thing that's been redone. Maybe now, but there's something else that's been redone multiple, all the fucking times in the world, and that is the day the Earth stood still. Because the day the Earth stood still, the third fucking rendition of this is coming, everybody. The day the Earth stood still reboot. Now, 20th Century Pictures is making this happen now. Of course, it started in 1951 was the very first one, and the next one was in 2008. The first one was really about like humanity, where we're going, what we're doing. It's like the Galactic Empire is like, what's wrong with the world? We got to help them. And then this 2008 version is more about like climate change. Like, you're going to destroy the world. So if you're going to destroy Earth, we're going to kill you first, wipe out humanity, and let the Earth grow back. Pretty much it. But now they're coming back to do a new version now with Chris Pratt leading the way. The last one was Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves was fucking the man back in that time. He was fucking John Wick. Fuck yeah, John Wick. Fucking killing it. I love him so much. And now they got fucking Chris Pratt. Very popular these days. Very, I mean, it isn't. I love me some Chris Pratt, but you're kind of right, Mike. But he's so hot right now. They're like, give him an opportunity where he doesn't actually talk, which is weird for him because he talks all the fucking time. But now he's not going to talk that much because this character, Klaatu, doesn't really talk at all. So like, why do you cast the person who talks all the time in Chris Pratt? Doesn't make any sense to me, right?
Pay him to not talk.
Yeah, they want him to talk, but this reboot is coming. I mean, 1951, 2008. The next one, we're not really sure when it's coming, but this is moving forward. And of course, an alien attempting to learn more about humanity, and Klaatu is trying to figure out how to help them. And again, climate change, more like the first one was more like about like where we are in the world, and the second one was more about, you know, climate change. And then Keanu Reeves even was like had to change his mind to help humanity, to make them survive, to stop the aliens from destroying everybody. It was definitely a whole switcheroo. I'm going to say switcheroo on the topic. I've had quite a bit of alcohol already. A big switcheroo on what they were doing before. So hot takes very fast because we're getting very late tonight.
We're going quick.
I got this little grid right here. So Spencer O'Neill, what do you think? Are you a fan of this series at all? And do you think there should be a spinoff of it?
Yeah, God. Yeah, no, it's a cool concept. I get
too many spinoffs.
You know, climate change and end of the world. Yeah, that's, I don't know. Chris Pratt makes me think of Tomorrow War, and
that's a good movie though, but still not the same.
It is a fucking movie. You know what I mean? How many times can you remake a movie about going back in time to fix inevitable downfall of humankind? So whatever.
Great point, Spencer. Oh, Keoki, get in there. Go.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Oh, Tomorrow War. The only thing... I'm sorry, not Tomorrow War. The Day of the Officer Still. The one with Keanu Reeves. The only time it was actually good was when he turned that guy into a lazy boy barker lounger immediately after talking to him and stabbed him. That promo was hilarious. I may still make fun of it today. It's always great, but that movie was bleh. After that, there's no reason to make this movie again. Why? Because I already just saw this remake and it was a very poorly done thing. The first one was good. Impressionist. It makes sense because it was, 40s? That's great. No need to remake
51,
it.
Yeah.
No.
Let it be, Keoki says. Oh, shit.
Nice take,
this
Keoki.
This is fucking fast. This is fucking fast right now. What do you think? Do you want to see it? Do you want to see this or not?
The original film is one of my all-time favorite classic sci-fi films. The remake with Keanu Reeves, I thought he was an excellent choice for Klaatu. I thought he handled that role excellently. He's very good at being like completely bland and stoic.
Very true.
Thought that the remake had some problems, but overall, I thought Keanu Reeves was an excellent choice, and I didn't think it was a bad remake. And but I don't think that they need to do it again. I don't think it needs more. Right. Gort is one of my all-time favorite sci-fi monsters. I actually sculpted a Gort. It's pretty bad.
Oh, wow.
It was when I was in school. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this series. It's one of my all-time favorites. But the very idea of bringing Chris Pratt into it is disgusting. Like, I just can't even imagine. Like, what a fucking who's looking at that and thinking that? Like, what a terrible fucking choice. Like, at least go get like God, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now because I'm kind of drunk. But all I can think of is Star Wars.
Go get a Jonas.
The bad guy Star Wars.
Star Wars.
The newer one.
He's gonna be doing this.
I'm thinking
He'll be doing this to the alien, the humans.
Yeah.
Okay, you're velociraptors. My hands are very wrinkly.
Why can't I think of Adam Driver? Adam Driver would be
Adam
a good
Driver.
Yeah, he'd be excellent. So that's who I would get is Adam Driver.
He would be good.
No, they're going to throw the bank at him. They're going to try to make him be Mr. Fantastic.
Don't try to make more action. Don't try to, because the whole point of it is that it's not an action.
Batista's all fucking put Batista in there. Fucking friend the show.
Last take, final take, Lexi. What's the take?
Mike.
Don't do it. Fuck it. Why
what do you think?
Don't do it. I mean, you know, I think stoic is a great way to throw shade at Keanu Reeves while simultaneously, you know, admiring him. Because that's what I have to defend Keanu Reeves on a daily basis. So I'm going to crib Keanu that. Reeves. No problem. You're 100% right. Chris Pratt, man, I'm rooting for the aliens. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. 100%.
Rooting for the aliens, Mike?
Rooting for the aliens.
Root for the aliens.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch that Tomorrow War. That movie looked like shit.
I actually enjoyed it.
It wasn't horrible. It was just unnecessary. But it was a cool concept.
Time travel and go save the fucking humans. Shit. Like, we don't deserve to be saved anyway. Fuck us.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was all right. It was okay. It was like friends and friends. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone here, but I thought it was okay. But yeah, this is happening, everybody. So the day that Earth Stood Still reboot's coming for the third fucking time. If you loved it, maybe you'll love this. If you hate it, you'll probably be like, why the fuck are we doing this again? But you know, maybe it'll be about climate change. Maybe it'll be about like just humanity. Who fucking knows, honestly. But the day the Earth stood still was the day that Tupac died. And that was me too. A feature story. Night. Yeah, that'll recover. You're right. But okay, I want to read it briefly because it was a big news today. Of course, our feature story, but apparently they have finally allegedly caught the person who killed Tupac. Let me say that again. I've been drinking a little bit. They've apparently finally caught the person who killed Tupac. Now, the Clark County grand jury handed down a murder indictment today in connection with the killing of Tupac. Now, okay, Dwayne Keith Davis is accused of gunning down and the storied rapper on the Las Vegas Strip in 1996. Now, the district judge, Jerry Weiss, ordered Davis, who's 60 years old, a reputed gang member, held without bail. Now, he said this guy fucking did it. This is done. And we're going to put him without bail. We're not going to let him out. But anyways, there was a whole thing going on where they charged him with murder with a deadly weapon and with the intent to promote further or to assist a criminal gang. Now, they refer to Davis as the on-ground, on-site commander and shot caller in revenge plot against Tupac, Death Row Records, and founder Suge Knight, and the whole label. And they said that he was the person in the car calling it, and that was it. And they actually have had an investigation for the past couple months where they've been looking into investigatory discovery in order to find a way to, bring this to court and actually file charges against Davis. And now it's moved forward. And the arrest happened, and now they're not going to let him out right now. It's not going to happen. Tupac was 25 years old when he was shot like in the thigh and the side and then twice in the chest, went to the hospital, and then 6 days later he died in the hospital.
Man, too young.
25 years old. It's insane. Suge Daddy is going to the big house. You're right. But he had a memoir that came out in 2019 where he actually Davis confessed that he was in the car. He brought this out, and that's what inspired the investigation to move forward.
Oh, shit. So a book called If I Did It.
Yeah. So don't do that shit. But he was in the Cadillac where the gunfire erupted, he said, in the whole thing in the drive-by. So if you're going to say that, know that they might still be like, you fucking killed this guy. And that's a long time. I mean, I'm surprised we're reporting this. It's 2023. I remember 96 is a long time ago. But I remember when this shit happened, I remember hearing about it for years. Everyone was like, what the fuck? Who killed Tupac? Is he on an island someplace fucking dancing and fucking living his life? It's a lie. It's not a lie. He's fucking dead. And this guy probably allegedly killed him. Let me go to my co-host, Mr. Mike Casey. Thank you again for being our co-host, Mike. What do you think about this? Is this just people being idiots? What they post online or post out there in the public, and do you think this guy is the actual person that probably fucking killed Tupac?
Well, Brian, we're lucky that social media wasn't around when we were a bunch of younglings running around committing crimes, because we would have been documenting the whole thing and sharing it for the world, and you would get that knock, knock, knock from the thin blue line, and they would have thrown our ass in jail. No, Tupac is up on the dark side of the moon on his moon base. I've made that abundantly clear. I don't know why they want to pin it on this guy. He's probably going down, or he just wants the credit. Maybe it's they did this on the Trailer Park Boys. Maybe he just wants the cred for shooting Tupac so he can have the gangster style early 90s rap record. He wants the cred.
He wants it all, Mike.
Yeah, I think it's got to be something like that. I don't know why you.
Are you surprised it took this long to find this guy in Vegas? Are you surprised about that?
That it took this long to find him? Yeah, I mean, I guess people were keeping their mouths shut, right? Which is what you do when you're committing crimes.
Stitches get fucking stitches.
Keep your mouth shut. Yeah.
I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked. It's 2023. The fact that this happened so long ago, and cold case. It's a fucking cold case at this point. You know what I mean? How do we finally get to this point? I think it's great that we are. And if this person actually did say, hey, kill this man, and he's the person that told him to pull the trigger, then he needs to go to fucking jail. If he's not, then, it's the whole thing. But it sounds like if you write a fucking memoir saying you're there in the car, you were in the room where it happened, then maybe you're that fucking person. That's all I can say. Not to fucking channel Hamilton,
they think that this guy's not legit. I mean, I would be interested in seeing more about this investigation. Although doubtless, I think we will. They'll make a TV show about finding the guy that killed Tupac. He's been in.
Why would you pin it on him now, though? That's the whole question. Why would you pin it on him now? It's been so long.
Maybe they had to get enough witnesses.
Do you think they're Spencer? Do you think they're just trying to close the case right now? Do you think they're just like, let's like fucking get this guy and put him away, or do you think this is actually like years of investigation when they finally figured out who's the man, who is the motherfucker who fucked up the rap game and killed Tupac?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody's been doing too much work on trying to figure out who killed Tupac for a little while, but I don't know. Something might have popped up recently. What was his book? And then they were like,
the book, the memoir.
Maybe we got some new information. I don't know. I'm not one of those people that knows too much about what happened to Tupac, but that's probably all I got.
Spencer's not sure. Yeah. You know what Tupac's doing? He's hanging out with all the Force Ghosts right now in Star Wars, waiting for a fucking verdict to come through. That's what it is. He's like, what the fuck, guys? Give me some fucking justice, But yeah, we have no idea that the Biggie Smalls thing was a huge thing. We really don't even know what this is. But Lexi, do you think that this is real, or do you think this is just the cops trying to like fucking close a cold case?
Black man was gunned down in the middle of the Las Vegas Strip in a Mercedes-Benz. Right. And they're just now going, we might have caught him. It's an example of the American police force not giving a fuck, like usual. I don't know why you couldn't figure out who did it when it happened at the time, and we're still having a discussion about it.
A lot of wealth
you don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck who did it. You don't give a fuck now. You're never going to give a fuck. You're just kind of going, oh, whatever. It's 2023 and we're still talking about who fucking killed Tupac. It's like you should have fucking figured it out in 1996 when it happened in the middle of the Las Vegas fucking Strip. And you also should have been able to figure out who shot Biggie when he was killed in the middle of California in like downtown LA. Like, I'm sorry, like you guys are fucking clearly don't give a shit and you clearly don't want to see any justice for these people. Like, you don't care.
It's fucked. It's fucked. It took this long for something, so long. And of course, everyone's always said, Lexi, that it's been like the labels.
Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. But when I saw it today, I'm like, what the fuck?
Because with the Suge Knight stuff, Suge Knight's a fucking piece of shit. Like, Suge Knight is one of the most corrupt pieces of shit to ever live. And I don't know how the fuck he hasn't been like in jail for longer. Like, genuinely, like and then he got out of jail and
he's a killer. You're right.
Like, he just keeps killing people and hurting people and doing things. And like, they're like, well, was he involved? Of course he was fucking involved in it. It's like, it's not hard to figure out who did this. This crime was very easy to solve. Like, once again, if this had been a white man, this would have been resolved instantly. If this had been a white woman, resolved instantly. Like when all these little not to like lower when these influencers are having all these like white women getting like kidnapped and hurt and all this kind of stuff, they're out there in 2 seconds. But when it's a black man or a black woman, they ain't doing shit. They don't care about minorities in this country, and they're not going to do anything about it. And it doesn't matter your celebrity status, because when 2 of the biggest celebrities in the country were just gunned down, they didn't do shit. They didn't do a fucking thing. But when a little girl went missing who had a fucking YouTube channel, the country went into a fucking tizzy. So
it drives me nuts.
It drives me nuts. Like, and we're still talking about who fucking killed Tupac. I don't know why you don't know who killed him. It's very fucking easy to figure out. You know who did it.
I saw this shit. I'm like, how the fuck is this a thing right now? It's like, how are we not? That was 96. It's 2023. How the fuck, Keoki? How the fuck is this a topic today? How is this like going to the headlines saying we found out who fucking killed Tupac? I mean, like we've already fucking fucking created him via digital and fucking fucking all that shit. You know what I mean? And like, how is this what it is now? How is this like the main topic today? Do you think that this is actually the person, Keoki? How do you feel about this?
Oh man, I mean, I'm sure they already knew who did it. They're sitting on it, but obviously police corruption involved in it because they were moonlighting as bodyguards, so they're trying to make it stretch out as far as possible before they have to actually own up to it. Probably wait until everybody that's associated with it dies out or has cancer, so they don't have to face any jail time, because this is the same thing that was happening to Biggie and Tupac, all associated with the same kind of stuff. Cops moonlighting as bodyguards. This information they've been sitting on this for a while, so I expect more information about other things other than politics and entertainment to pop out, because this will be a topic that they'll kind of jump to. So I expected something like this happening, but I did not know that they were going to just pop out the killer as of now. So
right,
this is very surprising to me.
Yeah, me too. Keoki, I just don't get it. It's just like, I don't understand. I just don't understand. Like honestly, that's why I made the feature story. Because I'm like, how is this what we're talking about right now? It's been so long. How can they not fucking figure this shit out? Someone that high profile, someone that fucking mattered to so many people, and you don't fucking solve this fucking case?
They don't know.
I don't know.
Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was just gunned down. Who the fuck shot Nipsey? Nobody fucking knows. Because he's a black man who was just shot in the fucking street. Nobody gives a shit. That's not what it should be, though. That's the fucking point. Be systemic racism is the reason that we have these problems in this country. Nobody gives a shit. It doesn't matter the level of fucking celebrity that you have. When you're a black man, you're gunned down in the fucking streets. Nobody gives a shit.
25 years old. 25 years old.
Matter. There are so many major celebrities in the rap game who get gunned down all the fucking time, and nobody seems to know who does it. Nobody fucking knows.
Right.
Ever.
We all care about them. And so if you care about them, give them a fucking chance to have some fucking some kind of fucking justice. You're right, Keoki. Fucking justice, for everything that happened to them,
Do you guys
unfortunately,
you guys think that it's that basic level of racism in enforcement, and it's not like a gang politics and like a lot of money involved?
There's gang politics for sure too.
That would be
it's a combination of
investigate
the gang stuff, but the systemic racism exists. The police don't give a fuck. When you live in a system that exists in that, they're not going to help you. They're not going to do anything. There's a reason that they don't call the fucking police. There's a reason.
Call the fucking police. Call your wife, call your kids, call your children,
call
every
the fucking police, and they show up, and then they fucking choke you out, and they put you down in the fucking streets instead of helping you. That's why you don't fucking call them. And I don't call the police because the police aren't going to fucking help me either.
That's true.
Because I'm a transgender woman. They're not going to fucking help me. I'm not going to call them. I'm not going to fucking call them. When you're a minority, you don't fucking call the police. They don't have your back. The police are there to help white men. They're not there to help anybody else. And I know that sounds crazy, and I know that sounds racist, and I know that sounds like whatever. I don't fucking care. When you are on the other side, you understand those things. When you are in a position as a white man, you have white privilege. And I don't want to start this fight, but I'm a little.
We're not going to start this conversation. Sean Sutherland.
But it is what it is.
That's what I was laughing at. Sorry.
This is true. Exactly. And I'm like, I have to agree with Lexi because she's right. But it's true.
For representation's sake, I'll throw GR in there too. I don't want to be accused of bias.
Yeah. Exactly. No, exactly.
I just think that if you're a celebrity like this and something goes down, if you're a person in general, you should fucking have your crime solved. If you get killed by somebody should fucking stand up and take care of you. And fucking, even though you're dead, they should still care that you fucking died and someone fucking went after you and killed you, because that's bullshit. In America, in the fucking world, and the life we live, in the fucking global economic world we live in, like, fucking take care of people and don't let people get killed for no fucking reason. If someone fucking dies, fucking stand up and make that fucking person suffer for what they did, because it took someone's fucking life away.
Don't take 27 years, guys.
And everybody that shit, because honestly, that's bullshit. If you take someone's life, go fuck yourself. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for being here on Cruise Control tonight. I appreciate you as always. Great conversations. Get a little fucking heated sometimes, of course. It's a Friday. We've been drinking. I'm going to cheers to our fucking Cruise Nation. I appreciate you as always. It's great. Thank you for being here. I know we went a little bit long. Fucking it's Friday. That happens all the time. Cheers.
I'm sorry I offended you, GR.
It's good. It's good. Opinions can be good.
I love you.
We're open.
That's all it is. Spencer O'Neill, thank you so much for being here as always. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you for being here on Friday. Fridays are fucking off the hook sometimes, so thank you for being here.
Alcohol, social lubricant.
Alcohol.
I love it.
Alcohol helps. Alcohol helps. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Casey, thank you for being my fucking lovely co-host. Fucking killing it.
Intellectual. I know that much. Hey,
shit.
Sean, if you're in here, check this shit out, man.
Oh shit.
I got power and I've been abusing it. Well, I gotta thank everybody. I gotta thank Spencer. I gotta thank Keoki. I gotta thank Lexi for bearing with me. I haven't done producership before. Everybody in the comments, thank you very much. I know my contributions have not always been seamless, but I try. Although Brian, especially on Drunk Friday, I think that this tool is going to be good for moving segments the fuck along.
Oh yeah, that's great.
For cat herding. Yeah, you might want to.
Especially when you have me around, you got to fucking move that shit around.
Thanks for having me around, dog. That was a good time.
Thank you, Peppy the Pooper, for sleeping on my lap the whole time. Thank you, Lexi, for being here too, bringing the points, talking about the nostalgia. I appreciate you as always. Check out Cinema Demore. Thank you so much, Lexi.
Good job, Racer X.
Always. It's always
Okay,
a pleasure.
Racer X. Keoki, Kekaula. Thank you so much for being back on Cruise Control. Appreciate you as always. Appreciate your takes, the fucking business. I've been friends for a long time. Love having you here and talking about the news. It's so much fun. Thank you, Glam, so much for being here. Thank you so much, Keoki. Appreciate you. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Glamazona. Thank you, fucking. I saw Milton in there. Yeah. Thank you, fucking everybody that came back. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Racer X. You're a fucking man. I love you, Racer X. You're a friend of the show. Always will be. You fucking should come back. We love you so much. Everybody out there, please, thank you for coming here every night. We keep pushing, having a good time. Please like and subscribe. Join our Patreon if you can. And as always, everybody. Oh, fuck. I'm a little drunk.
Taking the shirt off.
Before. Everybody, happy Friday. Hope you have a great weekend. Love you so much.
Cheers.
Please like and subscribe. Turn our Patreon if you can. And as always, tell your friends, your family, your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, your nephews, your grandmas, your grandpas, your great-grandma, all your grandmas and your grandpas that are fucking so old that you love them so much. They're still there and they're still fucking kicking ass. They're still fucking dropping leg drops. I'm fucking bitches in the backyard. Subscribe to Cruise Control. Hello, fucking mailman who's in fucking love with your fucking gardener. They have fucking massive babies that look like chinchillas. Tell them like Cruise Control. Tell everybody that fucking stepped in your yard want to shoot the shotgun. Subscribe to Cruise Control. Any fucking bitches that prostitute in the corner that she's fucking got her tits out in her fucking badge. Tell her subscribe to Cruise Control. All the fucking squirrels and bears and chinchillas and the fucking deer, the coyotes, the fucking goats, fucking eat your dog and shit like that. Subscribe to Cruise Control. All those fucking bitches. Please subscribe to Cruise Control. It'll make our fucking numbers go, make your numbers go big. Because it's fucking time. We'll make money. Anyways, everybody have a great night. As always, we love you. Have a fucking happy weekend because the weekend's fucking great. We're here. We're having a great time, and we'll be back again on Monday for a very sober Monday because it's Friday. So that's extra sober Monday. But subscribe, like, do all that shit. Fucking comment. Fucking stick your thumb up. Whatever you gotta do.
Brian's bringing back micro machines.
Until next time.
Very good.
See ya.